there was a cab driver who was like, he's not going to carry black people. So I arrived in Europe. It was Monday morning. I arrived at the airport in Rome, and coming from like to my dreamland, coming to Europe, and then I heard all about this. Like Italy is an Asian country. Like you will find those old buildings, old. Like you find it's one of the country that is like a Jesus Christian city or something of that sort. So when we arrived at the airport, and then we had now to go and look for. I think the first thing was like the language barrier. We had to go and look for we had to go and look for the cab, the taxi, but then we couldn't communicate with the taxi driver. So we needed somebody to come and help us communicate and give the address where we are going and tell the taxi driver where we're going. But then the first thing was as well racist. There was a cab driver who was like, he's not going to carry black people. But then coming from like, since I'm open-minded, and then the people that I was as well, they were open-minded. So we didn't take that as an offense. We found it just very, very, very funny. Like, we are not taking black people. I'm like, you are so narrow-minded. Like, how do you even think like we're in the 21st century and you still think like that in that manner? So that was my first time, I think my first experience in Italy. So yeah, and then we went to the hotel, meeting the others and all that, and meeting even people in the hotel wouldn't speak English. So, and then in Africa, we are on people's necks, like you must learn English, you must know English, and then you come in Europe, people don't even respect English, people don't even like consider English. You will be there with your English, and then you won't be able to do anything. So I think that's my first experience. Okay, upon arriving in Italy, in Rome to be specific, and coming from such a small country, Namibia, I think like the first difference was actually, I think, let me say, start with the traffic. Like there's so much traffic, and I think we spent like about 2 hours driving, which like the location hotel where we were going was not even far, but we spent so much time driving because of so much traffic. And then there is infrastructure as well. Like I think the advisement, like the Italy or Rome to be specific, it's more advanced in so many things than the African continent. And then the people as well coming to Italy, just seeing white people, mostly not really seeing much black people. I think it's that. So I think that's the most, yeah. So many things like really, really do shock me. Like it shocked me, like especially I think my time when I came to Milan. Because in Rome, I didn't really like get a chance to go out around the whole room around and all that. But when I came in Milan, that's where I'm like, why do you even do some of these things? Like I think the shocking thing I think was seeing people smoking. Like every corner you turn, there's a person smoking. And I even saw like small kids. I think there were like 5 of them that were like on the street, on the road, and they were smoking, they're sharing a cigarette. And I'm like, why do people here? Why do people smoke so much? And then as well, one thing I will never forget, it's like I was busy, like I was in the cab and that was now the first day when I arrived in Italy. I was taking video through the window and then trying, I'm in Italy to update my friends. I'm joking. But then I was taking videos, and then to my surprise, I saw white people sleeping on the pavement, like on the streets. I'm like, are white people also homeless? I was like, wow. I think that was one thing that I will never forget, because like when you're in Africa and then you find the homeless people or people that are begging on the street, and then this people, like the way the European actually act is like, oh, Africans, you guys, you're suffering and all that. Homeless people, there are homeless people in Africa, people that are sleeping under trees. At least we have trees. So I'm joking, but yeah, it's something that I'm still trying to digest. Like how white people, like okay, Europeans are also homeless, and they're also like on the street begging. I'm like, okay, But yeah, what else? What else? Yeah, good surprises. I also like beside the bed, like the negative stuff, there were so many things, like there were so many positive things that I experienced in Europe. Like imagine yesterday I just had a chance of checking myself out of the shop. You know, I didn't have to wait at the teller for somebody to scan my stuff. I'm like, you can just scan your stuff and then you get out. Like it's already, and then you pay yourself. I'm like, we don't do that. We don't even, it's not my first time seeing something like that. I don't even have an idea that you can actually like check yourself out of the shop. So that is one of the positive things. And then the transport as well. Guys, okay, no, even though it's confusing for me because I'm not really used, but then like there's so much, there are various type of transport that you can actually use in like in Milan now, in Italy now. You can use the train. You can there are public buses. Which sometimes you don't even have to pay. Like you just yeah, and then you find trams. Didn't even know that there was something called like a such as trams. So and then you have the metros, apparently there are now the underground trains that are called the metros. So, and then you find the bikes, and then you find there's that some of them I don't even know the names. And then, so there's so much various type of transport here. And I think like if you want to get somewhere very fast, then you better take a train or maybe you take, if you have a bicycle. And people ride bicycles here. And you find like women, old ladies that are riding bicycles. I'm like, wow, that's really, really, really interesting. And I think those are some of the things that we as African countries, we can as well, like, try to copy, not copy, but learn from them. And like the technology as well is so good here. There's so much to learn that we as African can actually learn. So yeah, I think those are like some of the positive. Oh, yes. And there are even bikes that are rentals. I don't know how to explain them, but yeah, you will. So the bikes that you can actually rent, you can just go by the road. You just apparently you use an app then to track the bikes, and then you see okay, by the corner there's a bike that you can actually just take, and it can ride you anywhere, and then you just have to pay. Like there's that trust between the people that you're going to take the bike, and then you have to actually to pay. And I think that is something that you are lacking in Africa: trust between each other. So like you just take the bike and then you ride wherever you are going, and then you pay, and then you can leave the bike there. And then the next person who's going to need the services can come and pick up the bike and track. No, there's a bike by the corner somewhere there. And that's like very, 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 very like I'm like, wow, very striking and very good as well. So yeah. There was like I was expecting so much coming to Europe because I think every African's dream is to come to Europe or to come to America, and like I was very excited coming here, even though I'm still excited that I'm here. But then they were like, okay, you won't find homeless people in the street because you're in Europe, and then all black people will be because we are all living African continent coming in. All black people are working and living their best of their lives. Then just to come here, wow. The I think the most thing that actually like shocked me is the lifestyle that the black people are actually living here. People, not like black, but people from the African continent that actually risk their life coming here in hopes of finding better opportunities, finding just living the best of their life. And then you come here and then you find out that people are even here, they are homeless in the first place. They don't have jobs and they don't even have documents. And the way they are treated, it's horrible. Like I don't want to say this, but it's you like as black people, you are seen as nothing. Like here, it's not the way we treat actually the European when they come to Africa. We see them like we treat them with respect, with dignity, and all that, and we try to help them as much as possible. Like if they don't know anything, and we try to accommodate them in any way, something like that. But here, if you are a black person, you are somebody who just came by the boat. Okay, you are seen as a monkey or somebody without rights, somebody without, you don't have any dignity. And I don't think that we Africans we deserve this. So you can actually, nobody deserves to be treated the way we actually being treated here. And you can, guys, I don't even know why, don't even come to Europe for in search of jobs or in search of opportunities. There is so much that our African continent can actually offer. And I only realize this right now that I'm actually here, that now I actually appreciate my African continent more, and I appreciate what we have. And I actually now looking forward to making every means, like to use every opportunity that I have in Africa to actually be better and to better my community, to better my African continent and all that. And I think we should all do that and not just living, because you leave the African continent and then you come and get stuck in Europe and you can't even go back home because you don't even have the ticket, the flight ticket to go back. And they don't even allow you to go back because you don't have documents. So it's, don't even come to Europe for a visit. Come to Europe maybe if you have a job opportunity or something like that. But don't come here in hopes of that you will actually live a better life than you were living in Africa. Because I interacted with some of them and they are like, in Africa was a boss, but then I come here, you have to start over again. Your education, like your certificates, your degrees, they don't even matter even if you are here. But in Africa, you can at least get a job, you can start your own business and everything like that. So, and then the languages, you'll just come and start over again, learning Italiano and learning other languages because English doesn't even work here. So yeah, I'm sad. But, but yeah, food in Europe was actually, okay, let me just go back to the first day that I arrived in Europe. So in Rome now. We were now in search, we went out, we looked for food, hoping to get, food, we Africans, we like heavy meals, getting like, but then we realized that pasta, pizza is actually like the main food here. Like almost like every restaurant that we went, they are offering pizzas and then they are offering pastas. And then there's nothing that we can actually relate. But then if you're in Rome, you dress the Romans. So we just had to go with that. And then we tried, and then the pizza is actually very nice as well. There are some that are really, 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 really nice. But then it's just that coming from, we love spices and we love like kind of like salt, not salty, but well, food with taste. But then you come here, like the food does not really have that enough salt, and then there's no spice. I even had to ask, because I even had to ask for extra spice. Can I get spice? And they brought me something liquid, and I'm like, I want something like Kapana spice. I just I want something like spicy, something that when you're eating, you're like, no, that's the only thing that we have. And they even brought me chili, which is like also as well like kind of a liquid thing. I'm like, don't you have like something that I can dig my thing in or something? Then it's, yeah, the food I actually love. I really love kebab, which is a patina kebab, which is actually I think my favorite right now, because there is kind of like chicken meat and there is some, like it has real taste. So, and then as well, my friends, they really like, especially the people that we came with for the conference, they suffered, especially the guys from the African continent, the African countries, they suffered with food because they couldn't relate to any food and they needed something like maybe porridge, something meat and like with a lot of soup, like something like fufu and all that. But then you can't get it anyway, like in Rome where we are. But then one thing that I also love with Milan is that there are some places where you can actually like find restaurants by Africans, and then you can find African food. You can find food that you can actually relate to and all that. So yeah, it's just a matter of you knowing how to navigate or getting somebody who knows who can actually take you to a place where you can actually get food that you can relate to. But I love Italiano food as well. But yeah. Connecting with Africans in Europe. So when I arrived here, like I'm in Europe and seeing other Black people or other African people, I like want to run to them and tell them, I'm also African. How are you? And you're like, let's have a conversation. Tell me more about Europe. Take me somewhere. But then I was like, you don't do that here. You will be charged for sexual harassment. So, I was like, so 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 I was So I'm like, but like we are all Africans. Like we can just let me just go talk to them or just hug them and just tell them that I'm African as well. And like, my dear, this is Europe. It's not Africa. So so I just say like to go back into my shell and like try to act like, you know, yeah. Okay. We have a lot of white people in the African, especially in Namibia, which like you can connect, you can interact with, you can talk to, and like you can relate in so many things as well, in so many ways as well. And we really do respect them in Namibia, like in the African continent. We respect white people and we don't judge them and we don't like do. But here like in Europe, I don't even think I have spoken to any ever since I came. Okay. So, but here in Europe, like the white people, they are not that interactive. So when they look at a black person, they look you as somebody who came by boat, somebody with no dignity, somebody with no. So that's actually like the feeling that I kind of got, like, or that the kind of, like you can't just go up to I think a white person and like interact. I think the only people that I kind of like spoke to, maybe from the restaurant that we ate, and they're like very as well welcoming as well. And you find some that will like look at you when they look at you like, what are you doing here, or who are you, or something like that. But then you find some of them as well that are also very good, and they're like very curious. I think it was only in Rome where somebody like a white person asked me, "Where are you guys from? And what are you guys doing here?" And all that. And we're like, "Yeah, we hope to go to the African continent. We were never there and all that, but we wish to visit someday." But then in most cases, it's not the same as the one on like in Namibia. It's not the one that are the same as the African continent. I think this one's, I don't know, they're from a different breed. Like in Namibia, I have never really differentiated like the white people in Namibia, like from which part of Europe they are. I don't think, nah, mostly I think we only deal with the Germans and then Finland, yeah, and then yeah, but we do have Italians in Namibia, but then as strangers, I can't really differentiate between white people, like which one is from which country, unless if you are if you're from the Asian, then maybe I can tell, nah, this one is from India, this one is from China, this one, yeah, I can differentiate, but people from Europe, like the white, I can't really differentiate like the difference. Yeah, all white people, they look the same like in the European. So, but maybe there is a difference, but I didn't really figure it out. But I can only differentiate the people in the Asian continent. Yeah, let me just take off my shoes. So that the way people, I think the way the black people, like, okay, I don't want to like mention colors, but the way we African people, like when you, I think step on the European continent, the way you are welcome is not the same thing as when a European actually goes to an African country. There you are welcome with open hands, and you are like, people look at you like with dignity as somebody with rights, as somebody with, like, you are a person, you are a human. But then here, like from what I saw, the way we Africans are actually treated here, nobody deserves this because we are seen as people who came by boat, and then we are told, and when somebody you are told that you came by boat, that's actually somebody who came like here as a migrant, as somebody who, yeah, who is illegally here, who is came here illegally, not by and all that. But then if you look back, like in history, if you even watch is it the Woman King, the movie The Woman King, how the white people, actually the Europeans, or like how they came to the African continent, they came by boat. They were coming by boat. So and then now it's just reversed. It's just like, it's not more the white people, the Europeans that are actually coming to Namibia by boat. Now it's the Africans that are coming to Europe by boat. So, but then till when they were coming, they were welcomed. They were taking, like, they were given things that they needed, yeah, the land and everything. Right? I don't want to be controversial, but then we're just trying to state facts, some of the things. But then, so the way my brothers and sisters are treated here, nobody deserves this. Like African people, You guys deserve better. You guys, as long as you know your worth, as long as we know you know what your worth, like we deserve better. You like in Africa, you won't allow your uncle, somebody at the age of 50 something, being treated or being pushed around. Like they're in the village or somewhere in the African continent. But here you see an older African person who is being answered like left, right, center. And you're like, where is your dignity? Where is your dignity? Like, where is your self-respect? We don't deserve this. And I think like it's time that we all, I think, see your worth and we treat all people as human beings. So guys, let me give you some advice. I've been into Europe. I'm in Europe. So before you come to Europe, people were like, this person just came to Europe is already giving advice. Okay. So I think like I made several mistakes actually when I planned my trip to Europe, like because there are so many things that I didn't know actually before coming here. So if you are planning your trip to Europe, at least know I think two or like the basic words of the language Italiano, so that it will actually be easier for you to just communicate and just even greetings or just asking a simple question and all that. So and then just even saying thank you and all that. And as well, try to make sure. I think the biggest mistake I made actually was not packing any jumpers, not packing any jackets, and I didn't check the weather. Check the weather as well. Make sure that you're actually coming with the right type of clothing, like clothes and all that. And yeah, you'll do a lot of walking in Italy. So it will be good for you to actually pack clothes like to pack flat shoes as well, not just like take heels or anything like that, not just you packing maybe high heels and something like that. So you'll be able to do a lot of walking and you'll do a lot of running after trains. So if you are late and all that, so you must always be ready to at least have flat shoes that will like comfortable for you to walk and all that. What else? Yeah, and then as well, if you are like coming for a conference or you're coming for work or you're just coming for a visit or for a trip, there are so many places that you can as well visit, like in Rome, that you wouldn't want to go without visiting. Not in Rome, but in Italy, whether you're coming to Rome or to Milan or to any. So just it's also good to check out some must do like some places, some touristic places that you can actually visit. Like in Milan, you can visit the Duomo, you can visit so many places that you can as well visit. So in Rome, you can visit like you can visit the Colosseum, you can visit so many places. But for me, I didn't get the chance to visit actually many places because I didn't plan before coming here. So that's where it failed to me. But yeah, so it's good to do planning. I will come back to Italy or to Europe, but not coming back to stay permanently. I will come here for holiday, for like to tour around and everything like that. But I'm not coming to stay permanently. Like who is going to be in Africa if I move? So I'm not coming to stay permanently. Maybe if I get a job opportunity or something, I can move. I can stay in Europe or any, but I can't leave the African continent forever. That's like my home. That's my everything. That's our land. So we can, I can come here for visiting, but not to stay permanently. No. The lifestyle that I saw, like I can't live here permanently because the lifestyle or the way my fellow Africans are treated here, I don't think I'll be able to do this. I respect myself so much and I have self-dignity. So I don't think I will allow anybody to treat me like that. I'm more respected in my own land. So why should I come to somebody's land and be disrespected while I'm valued by my own people. So yeah. So I think it's good to everybody stay in your own places. You can visit each other, but not like trying to take over other people's things, but people's lands. Yeah, please come to Europe. Make sure when you're coming to Europe, you are flying or you are legally in a boat. You are legally legally in the boat by your, with you willingly and happily coming to Europe with a great experience, not coming by boat illegally in search of opportunities or in search of a better life. Please come here for visiting or come here for whatever opportunities are here, but don't come by boat. Don't take the risk. Don't risk your life thinking that you'll actually get a better life in Europe or a better life wherever. Come by plane, please. Come by plane or come by boat willingly. Don't come to Europe by boat or illegally. That's my end. So please, if you as well been in Europe or in a different part of the world and you feel like sharing, you can just share it in the comment section. If you had a different experience than me, or maybe have a different views of what I said, you can actually just share it in the comment section. And yeah, you can as well reach out. And please don't forget to like this video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, let's continue enjoying life and let's continue making the right decisions and not risking our lives. See you in the next episode.